he would fly supplies in there and drop supplies. And he said the wind was so bad when he was flying that they had to have people holding on to the airplane on the ground till he could get going. And he flew all day long dropping supplies and using a Piper Cub. No? J3, that's what he flew. And so he probably saved the life of many people. And there's a big story about him too, how he saved many lives. And then, of course, we didn't have school for I don't know how long because the roads were completely blocked. There was no snowplows going every day then. So there was a very huge snowdrift all over that. You couldn't get into town to buy supplies. So you had to, because we usually had enough food out the farm, because we had our meat and potatoes and milk and all that. So we didn't problem us really much for that part of it. So I can't remember how many days it was before the snow plows were able to get the highways open, and then the side roads like past ours, the township road, and that took days before they got them shoveled. They usually shoveled them by hand so we could get over to the highway. The neighbors would get together, maybe a dozen neighbors would get together, lived along the road, and they'd be out there with their shovels, and they'd shovel through those drifts for, well, it was half a mile from our place, the highway, and the drifts were much higher than the person was. So they had to shovel up big drifts to get through, to get a single track for one car to get through. So they get up to the highway, and then when they plowed, so they could get into town to buy supplies and that. So there was a lot of handwork shoveling. I can remember that gang used to get out, and because of 1940, I was about 17 years. So I was 16. I was 17 at the time. 43, yeah. So I was in high school, but the bus from Milan didn't come out. They could no way they could get out in there. So I don't know how many days of school. Of course, the country school were closed, and we didn't have a telephone then, or we had a radio by that time, so we could listen to the weather reports. But see, the day before, there was no weather report. There was a bad storm coming. It was, and we used to listen to the radio in the evening, and like the Minneapolis radio and Dakota radio, the South Dakota and all that. No one knew what was coming. It just all of a sudden. So that became known as the Armistice Day Blizzard. And they're still talking about that and showing documentaries and how many people were lost and a lot of stuff, especially out like in the Dakotas and that, where the cattle were out on the range. They didn't have no shelter. Didn't have any shelter. So they lost a lot of cattle. And probably horses too, they're outside. And so I don't know how many days we didn't have school. Couldn't get out in the country to pick up the country kids or the high school kids. And